You've heard it a million times, right? Iron sharpens iron. It's one of the most famous and maybe one of the most misused phrases out there. But what does it actually mean for us, for our relationships? Well, we're going to get into it. So let's just be real for a second. When you hear that phrase, iron sharpens iron, do you kind of brace for impact? A lot of us do. We've come to associate it with, harsh criticism or these really painful confrontations, relationships that feel more like a battle than a partnership. But is that what it's really supposed to be about? Okay, here it is, straight from the source. Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. It's simple, it's direct, it's powerful. But everything, and I mean everything, hinges on what it actually means to sharpen something. And that leads us to this really critical question. Is this idea meant to be a weapon or is it a tool? Let's take a minute and deconstruct the most common and, honestly, the most damaging way people get this wrong. I bet you know exactly what I'm talking about. Have you ever had someone just hit you with some unsolicited, blunt critique and then maybe even use this verse to justify it? It feels less like sharpening and way more like an attack, right? That's the weaponized version, using honesty as a cover for judgment, usually without any real relationship to back it up. So to find the true meaning, we've got to step into a totally different world. We need to go visit a blacksmith. Because the secret to this proverb isn't in conflict, it's in the craft. So what does real sharpening actually look like? Okay, look at the language here. Notice these words, careful, precise, intentional. See, real sharpening isn't about two swords just banging into each other in a fight. No way. It's a skilled craft. It's designed to create a better, more effective edge. The friction involved is controlled, it's purposeful, and it's always constructive. So let's break that down. This process is never an accident. It's always intentional. And the goal? It's always improvement, never damage. But here's the part we almost always forget. It's a mutual process. When a file sharpens a blade, the file itself is also shaped. It's also worn down. Both parties are changed, and hopefully improved, by the interaction.
Now, when you look at it through the eyes of a blacksmith, you start to see two completely different ways of doing this. Two models of accountability start to emerge. One is built on that so-called brutal honesty, and the other, it's built on humility and mutual respect.
Let's put these side by side. On the one hand, you've got that weaponized honesty. It just comes out of nowhere, it's hyper-focused on all your flaws, and the goal is just to be right. It tears people down. But true biblical accountability, it's the total opposite. It's counsel that you've invited. Its focus is on restoration, not on blame. It builds people up because its main goal is always to strengthen the relationship. Here's the ultimate test. It all boils down to this. Did the conversation, the interaction, leave the relationship stronger or weaker? Yeah, correction might be part of the process, but connection is always the goal. If the bond between you is broken, it wasn't true sharpening, period. So why are we spending so much time on this? Why does getting this metaphor right matter so much? Because the goal isn't just to fix one person's flaw. It's to create this environment of mutual growth for everyone involved and for the whole community.
And when we practice sharpening the right way, the results are, well, they're incredible. It kicks off with mutual growth, right? But that naturally leads to stronger fellowship, a community that actually has each other's backs. And the foundation holding it all together? Deeper trust. Each one of these things builds on the last. Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we live this out? Let's get really practical and talk about how to put this into practice to forge a fellowship that's real and sharpening.
So the whole question kind of flips on its head, doesn't it? It's not just about who can sharpen me. It's about how do I become the kind of person who can skillfully and lovingly sharpen others? How do we become the blacksmith and not just the hammer?
Here are 3 really practical steps. First up, earn the right. You just can't sharpen someone you don't have a real relationship with. Trust is the price of admission. Second, speak the truth in love. Before you say anything, check your own heart. Is this about helping them or about making yourself feel superior? And finally, stay in it. This isn't a one-and-done conversation. It's an ongoing process of mutual support.
And this, right here, is the core of it all. A blacksmith's fire doesn't shatter the metal. It forges it into something stronger, something more useful. In the exact same way, true iron sharpens iron accountability forges stronger bonds. It never, ever breaks them.
So we'll leave you with this to think about. Who is that trusted blacksmith in your life?
And just as important, who are you being a blacksmith for? When it's done right, this is honestly one of the greatest gifts we can give each other. Thanks so much for diving into this with us.